Happening. Going through, cutting some tops off of cakes right now, prepping for our show. So, it's kind of a little crash course, should we say. Oh, this one's getting a little bit of a pain. Blue's sucked down a little bit more than usual. We'll be doing this for like 45 minutes, an hour, give or take, before I have to go set up to that. But get you guys a first kind of look in at how we do things. So this is one of our bomb box series cakes. I'll be shooting 4 of these, and so there'll be more of those. How are you doing today? A lot easier. Okay. You're kind of an unstable stack, aren't you? What's up, Dakota Tones? How you doing? I'll try to get you guys on a more stable level, hopefully. We'll see. So, man, this is pretty much all we're doing. Cut tops. I'm not going to cut any of our fuses yet like I normally will. So I'm still figuring out what type of E-match I want to go with, what sections. So this is more just topping and talking. How you guys doing this afternoon? Cobalt. What's up, Tay? How you doing? What am I doing right now? We're basically cutting the tops off of our 500 gram cakes for a display that I do. Plan is to live stream that on the 5th. Don't know exactly how it'll go for sure, but that is the plan. So what we're doing is stopping ourselves from having to pick up all this kind of paper trash that our cakes leave. So if you go out and you're shooting 300 cakes like I'm doing, all these, little holes right here, they're all, an inch diameter shot that's going to go up through this paper, and it just creates trash. And so what we're doing is preventing that from happening to a degree. other than, you know, sometimes we get stuff like this that gets in our way. So that's what our plan is. But I'm doing all right, you know, staying semi-cool on a hot summer day. We'll do Captain Kids Capture, a little 9-shot. Picked these up new this year. We'll have this way. This is our basically arrow that you want to be facing the cake from this direction, and so we leave that for when we're setting up. Gives my guys an idea of, all right, this cake needs to be facing towards the audience when we set up, and so that way you get the best view, even though this is a regular 9-shot rack. Could have some angles to it, so. Yeah. We'll pop the fuse out anything here for later. Factory labeled over itself on this cake. What happened there? Happens sometimes. It actually went through, put a different label on, put another label on, then put this label on, so hopefully it turns out right. We'll find out. We're going to live tomorrow. No, I won't be live tomorrow. Next time I'll be live is probably going to be Sunday as an actual live. I don't know how long I'll be doing this stuff, but I have no idea on a day-by-day basis right now. Alright, we'll catch you later, Tay. Appreciate you stopping in. Black powder in that one mixed in. Alright. This is part of the Mod Madness pack inside job. This one's going to be torture to lift off the top because normally these are like sticking on to each other quite often, like that first cobalt we were using. We got lucky, didn't stick to each other at all. It's normally not the case with these brothers cakes. They're really glued down pretty well on that, so. Here's where we'll see some of that. I can already tell it's glued down better on this one than that last one. Inside job. Got our fuse here. Tear that open. Like I said, we're not cutting anything today, fuse wise. Normally we would take this, cut it off, cut out the whole inside around there. Plug it with a E-match, but I don't know whether I'm doing outside or inside quick match or regular E-match on these yet, so we won't be doing that. What's up, Isaac? How you doing? Welcome on in. And Panda, how you doing? Today we're taking tops off of our 500 gram cakes. This is our part of our display that I'll be doing on the 5th that I plan to live stream. And so essentially what I'm doing is preparing trash cleanup. So normally you fire this cake off, every single one of these tubes in here is going to cut through that paper and it flies all over the place, burns all over, whatnot. So in our shoot sites, I like to keep it, as clean as I, was given it to. So we go through, do this, and try to prevent having to come through and sweep it and everything the next day. Which, I mean, we still have to do some, but much less than what I'm doing here. Because, yeah, like I said, each of these would fire through this paper, make a big mess, and so we're preventing that to a degree. Still have to go through, pick up the paper discs that come out of our fireworks, the clay plugs and everything, so that's what we're doing. What's up, CJ? How you doing? Face reveal? Hadn't planned on it. Hadn't planned on it. Might have my accident. What's going on there? There's our fuse. Could open that up at least a little bit. Get a head start on it. We'll get that, like I said, normally cut that, punch it, plug it, but we'll save those for when I have it all lined out. How many do I have? 350-ish right now. So it's gonna take me a while. Like I said, I'll end up doing this for probably 45 minutes to an hour right now, just talking and chopping cakes with you guys until I have to go open up my retail stands. So I'll leave out of here at like 2:45 Central, give or take. But gotta do our due diligence and prep our items for the 5th. So. when we're doing these, you have to be a little careful. Sometimes you'll go through and you'll have a fuse leading from here to here that you don't expect, and try not to cut through. A lot of these brother cakes have wires wrapping around the whole thing, keeps them a little bit more stable than some of the other ones I work with, so it's a nice thing to a degree. Alright, here we have Irritable, our little hot and happy one from Happy Family. Got our spectator designation out. Since this is an angle cake, you'll be able to see that when I open it up here in a second. So, spectators are, on the side you guys are on, facing this cake, this direction. These tubes are going to fire out to the right, these to the left, straight up and down tubes. So, we have our spectators' angle of preference there. Got our fuse right here in the middle. Try to keep everything centered for you guys, but there we go. Got our fuse prepped and ready. Let's see. What's up, Night Ranger? How you doing? I'm doing all right. Nope, not actually my day job. Light of Joss. This is roughly a hobby. I don't get paid to do it necessarily. Donate a big show, although I do accept contracts for other shows, but this one is donated. I have a retail fireworks stand that I do, and I make a little bit of money off of it, but it does not pay the bills, I'll tell you that much. RP is a hobby too. I mean, hopefully it turns out to be able to pay the bills at some point someday, but it's currently not. Do a whole bunch of different things for the most part. But this definitely does pay more than RP does at this point. Okay, got another Turf War, the Mob Madness series. What local shows am I doing? So I have my hometown show, and then that's pretty much my only one this year, but I plan on getting bids out for 2 more ones close to me around OKC metro area. And so the one I'm doing here, this one is probably about a $35,000 show if I were to sell it, but I donate it out of what I make off of retail stuff, just to kind of get back to the community and all that. Yeah, so I'll end up hopefully getting 1 or 2 more contracts for next year, though. That'll be nice. I know one of them, they expect about a $12,000 payment, and of course, on that, when you're bidding out shows, you got to consider the insurance is massive out of that amount, and setup and fireworks, and so you get paid a little bit for a little bit of labor. But yeah, cake tiles. Now I do plan on live streaming the show that I'm prepping for. That'll be on the 5th, on that Saturday. As long as I keep everything charged up and ready to go. I know I'm going to be running rampant between retail and setting up, but the plan is to live stream it for you guys horizontally, and then I'll have a guy filming it as well to be able to put out a video. But I'm going to try to get it live this year for you guys. I think I tried last year on Twitch, and unfortunately, like 5 minutes into it, it quit, so something like that. But the expectation is I'm going to get it down to about 32 minutes long, and that's constant action in the air. So, outside of a couple of planned pauses. So you should get a nice little 32-minute long show. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, if you guys, buy your own fireworks or anything like that, highly recommend cutting off the tops of them just to save yourself from picking up trash. Blackbeard's Bounty, little 9-shotter. Decent size brakes on these. They're let's see, what are they? 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 maybe. This one, I'm going to open up a little bit more on this side. Gives me better access when I'm going to punch it and plug it with our electric match. Yeah, how you guys doing today? Hopefully beating the heat a little bit. I forgot to start. Oops. Didn't quite tear apart like we wanted it to. It's fine. That right there. We have a good idea of where it's going to be, so it'll be alright. You can see right there, there's a little bit of fast fuse in there. So your cannon fuse, which is this, your Visco, runs, let's see, about 30 seconds per foot of burn rate. Where like this fast fuse is going to be somewhere around the range of 15 to 20, this pink stuff. Just kind of depends on the day, so. Try to stay in your office the rest of the day? Fair enough. I would too if I could. These are all good little 36 shutters, good variety, big brakes on them. Brothers puts out pretty decent product for the most part. A little heavy on crackle normally, but overall good products. They generally are a little bit expensive though, but do recommend the brand, which I carry about 36 different brands and have, I don't know, a dozen or more Brothers items, just because they are good stuff. If you guys are looking at buying your own products, they're a good one to recommend. Raccoon Fireworks, Window Fireworks, those are good brands. Miracle, you get pretty much, they're cheaper, but you still get good, decent quality with that kind of lower price point normally that comes with them. Happy Family runs some good stuff. Do like to see theirs every now and then. Top Gun has some good stuff as well, mixed in with theirs. There we go, there's some foil. We're going to leave that be until we get back to it. You can see again they got those wires running across on the bottom series this time versus the Mauve Madness. What's up, Alan? How you doing? Come on. There we go. And one of those issues that we find with the Brothers cakes, sometimes they are glued down a little too well for our removal process. Not a bad thing necessarily, just bad when you're trying to save on trash. Good otherwise. Keeps everything together so it doesn't split apart, just like these spacers and everything. I don't know if that comes across on my audio, if you can hear it or not, but when I scrape across that metal, you can definitely hear it pick up. Somewhat of a good sign, you know, somewhat bad. You at least generally know that you're in an open void when that happens, rather than when it's on your tube itself. It doesn't make that kind of scraping noise, doesn't have the ability to on that wire. Just because it is against something, it muffles it. So you can definitely hear on that when it's open. Alright, that'll do us on that one. Sides folded in here. Don't necessarily have to cut them if we can prop them back in like that. They'll stay together pretty well. Got a little while left to go with you guys, but before we in stream later, I'll take you on a run through of products I have sitting out for this show. I still have more to get, but I at least have most of the items that are going to be in here in the shop. So. There we go. Down. Alright, switch up something new. Smaller 500 gram keg called Lone Assassin, a little 12 shotter. Got some decent sized brakes to it. It's nothing, overpowered or anything. But I'm going to end up doing 9 of these. 2 on 2 different sides with something else over the top of it, and then 5 together with something else over the top of it. Because they're not as powerful, bigger brakes, but they still are good. It's just gotta stack them up a little bit, control what your output is. Come on. There we go. 1 down, 8 to go. I'm tempted to do a Clarkson and take the powder out of a box to make one giant rocket. Not necessarily. I've seen all the way up to 24-inch shells be shot before. Like, they're cool, but you also have to be, 2 miles back almost, and it's just, you can make plenty of things, but making good stuff takes a little skill, takes a little effort. Plus, I have a good range of stuff that I've bought or made and whatnot, and so it's not a necessity for me like some of these guys, try to get their hands on as much stuff as they can and then take it apart and, build crackers or rockets or anything like that. And I've seen what happens when you do that and do it wrong. It's not pretty. We'll just put it that way. You end up with, shrapnel of cardboard scraps embedded in your skin. I watched a guy that had that happen before out on the rocket line. Had his set blow up and had to be taken to the hospital to get all these little pieces of cardboard taken out of his skin. So. switch it up. We'll go with Calico Dak. Change it up a little bit. Slowly but surely. What's up, Derek? How you doing? Let's see. Jose. Unboxing fireworks? Yeah, for sure. Southeast Wisconsin Pyro. Glad to see I'm live, running a firework tent, doing the same thing. Nice. Yeah, I got about a 350 keg show right now. That I'll be live streaming it on the 5th, that Saturday, and so that is the plan. Going through, unboxing everything, taking all the tops off, save all my trash, and getting ready for E-Match and everything else. So the unboxing is messing with your OCD. That's fucked up, man. Dream. Although I got maybe 15 minutes left. We'll see. It'll depend. Before I gotta go open up. Maybe might do this again. I don't know. We'll kind of see how tomorrow goes. I know I'll be doing some of this, but I gotta rework a little bit of my show. Figure out what I'm putting on Quick Match, what I'm putting on E-Match. So we're just getting everything tops, getting fuses exposed and ready to go. These ones, Hummers. No burst, no nothing. These basically go up and then zip off in different directions. Kind of what we call go-getters, but they have a nice little humming or buzzing sound. They're not overly loud or anything, but are a good cake. I got a few of these left from my show, and that's it. I'll have to end up ordering some more at some point, but yeah, how's it messing with your OCD, Derek? And we're definitely not, you know, surgical precision here either. All right, I'm taking this and just ripping it apart for the most part. So if that does you in. So Jose, our wheelchair idea didn't work out quite as we planned. Had some hiccups with it last night. But if we do end up getting like the tornado stuff when I'm around, I definitely want to try and do that again with the old folks. Since that's how I originally saw it, you know. Yeah, they do that after the 4th sometime. That's what I want to do. Just take the trailer out full of the old folks on wheelchairs. If not, I'll come up with some other fun idea for all of us to get into again. Contraption, at least. And then we can do some of the other ideas outside of that as well. I'm not picky. Ooh, look at that. We got candy cane stripes fuse right there. I don't need surgical precision, it's only minor explosives. Exactly. Look, as long as I don't cut the green wire. Oh shit. Nah, it's easy. So, fairly safe. Like I said, we got our visco fuse here, cannon fuse, burns at a rate of 30 seconds per foot of actual inches. So, where like this pink fuse right here burns at a rate of anywhere from 10 to 20, depending on what it's set at. It could be shorter, could be longer. Then there's fast fuse, which this looks more like our fast fuse. Well, there's fast fuse and there's quick fuse. So fast fuse is normally yellow, burns at like 5 seconds a foot, and then quick fuse burns at 0.1 seconds per foot. So those are all some things I have, but not in any of this set. Took off our arrow. We'll have to make a new one. Fun facts, fireworks are made up of 90% paper. Between all the cardboard, paper wrapping, you get a little bit of black powder, a little bit of the visco fuse. You might get some wood inserts on the bottom. That takes your number down a little bit. And then there's actually clay down in the bottom of these. Maybe I'll get you a little image of that. Clay right there. Helps solidify them a little bit. What's up, Space? How you doing? Now the name makes sense, right? Yeah, the tornadoes should be a good time, especially if they have a full updated script and everything of them. Crazy idea. Try building it ahead of time. Listen, if I had room to put all of the display stuff before now, I would. But I have I have 4 shipping containers that are completely full. I have my actual warehouse building that's completely full. I am stacked this year and nowhere to put any of the display stuff. Trust me, I wanted to get everything, you know, set up on my boards, glued in, ready to go, e-matched already, put on pallets, put away. Don't have room for it. I wish I could do it ahead of time. But the way I bought this year, especially like with, you know, the talk about tariffs and everything like that, we bought up a shit ton before all the tariffs and stuff kicked in so we can keep our prices low. I had nowhere to put everything. I had to buy a new container pretty much just for this stuff at this point. Especially with some of the deals that we ran into, luckily. You think out of any of us on the expert? It should be. I've only done it since birth, alright? But I mean, you learn new stuff all the time doing this. You really do. Between all the conventions that we go to and everything, you learn new stuff every year on the fireworks industry. How to do stuff, you know, what other people's techniques and methods are and everything, so. And there's some stuff that's still debated, like, well, one that just recently went from being debated to finally one side winning was gas mines. I have some videos of those on my channel, but essentially you're just making a big mushroom cloud, big fireball in the air. And there was debate on, you know, how you actually set up your charge, and one side finally won over the side that's fairly popular with it. So, you know, new stuff happens all the time in this industry, and new effects every year, everything like that. So, what's up, Hugo? Any tips on good fireworks? The brands you need to look for are Raccoon, Winda, Miracle, and Brothers. That's who I would recommend. Don't buy Black Cat, don't buy TNT, don't buy Jake's, don't buy Phantom. You know, it depends on where you're at, you know, what you're limited to. Some places are a one, you know, one brand only type of thing. I have 30 because I, you know, like finding good stuff. And so those are the brands I would stay away from. TNT, Jake's, Black Cat, Phantom. Those are your brands to stay away from. Especially TNT and Black Cat. The Phantom's normally pretty high priced. I don't know about their quality, but you're going to be paying more at least on their stuff. TNT is junk, it's garbage, and you pay more. Jake's is horribly ran company, but you know, they have some decent products. Prices are normally higher than other places though. And then Black Cat is just way gone down in quality, so you're paying for that brand name. So pretty sure all you have is Phantom. I mean, it's better than the other ones. I'll at least give you that, probably. But are you a safe and sane state or anything? Aerials and all that. That's kind of rough on the bottom. I'll have to fix it. Brothers, Light Brigade, good cake, would recommend. What's up, Courtney? How you doing? Ohio. If you're in Ohio, there's a town called Hudson. There's a place there called American Wholesale Fireworks. They won't sell to you wholesale, but They're good people. Have a lot of brand selection. Would recommend them up there. So I think they're a couple hours from Cincinnati. So depending on where you're at, they're on like one of the borders, I believe. But would recommend American Wholesale if you're up in Ohio. They're good people. There we go. Tricycle 45C. Damn. Thought it was high here. We're sitting somewhere around the mid 90s up here. Hot and humid. Sweating my ass off. Let's see here. This one's gonna stick. Partially. Ooh, we got lucky. Alright. I was expecting those to get stuck on all those. Light Brigade, 42 shots, good variety mixed in it. There's a lot of Brothers cakes, and that if they're a 42 to 49 shotter, they're normally a good idea to get. So Light Brigade, Highfalutin, Mob Madness series, which is Crime Scene, Blood Money, Turf War, and Inside Job. All good stuff. I put them in all my shows. Really recommend their product on those. Just because you get, basically you're getting a row of 7 on these or the other ones. These are 42, those are 49 shotter. So you're getting 7 of the same shell, and then it switches up to a different kind every other or every single row. You get a new variety. So they're really good in that regard. Okay. Whew. Got a little viewing hole for us. Look at that. Neighborhood Disruptor. This one's decent, not great, but pretty decent overall. It wouldn't be one I would gravitate to on the shelf though, but it's good enough to be in the show. You know what I mean? It'll be in the early stages. Go. Get rid of that top. You already had 110 days, so those cooldowns appreciated. Yeah, I'll pass. Anything over 80 kills you good. Good. This will be our last one. Then I'll give you a little tour of what we're going to be firing off on the 5th. Okay. Nice little trash pile. So we got Hummers there. We got one of the Cobalt bombs, Atom bombs, whichever, out of the bomb box series. Irritables. I got Colonel Poppers from Winda. I got 8 of those going. I got 4 shotgun weddings. Those are like a screamer up to break. More of the bomb series, more Irritable. I got 1 Minute Revelry in the back. Super Fireworks, Neighborhood Disruptor right there. Blood Money Crime Scene from Mob Madness. I got Highfalutins back here. These are what we topped earlier. So the Pirates Code series, Light Brigades, Lone Assassins, more of the bombs. I got Spider Swine. These go up, make a big kind of palm that looks like spider legs coming out. Pretty cool. Luck of the Irish from Miracle. Miracle puts out some good product. Those are a nice golden green color mixed in. I have 1500 Super Finale. These are all red, white, and blue. This comes as a 3-pack, a red, a white, and a blue section. The Scrambler from Raccoon we got here. So that one is a new effect called Silver Wanderer. Basically, it's like a giant snake come out. Pretty cool. Magic Light's got 1 case of it. Sprinkle Donuts. These are a nice Maltese ring shell. Basically, it throws up a big ring. Looks just like a full ring, like a donut. Empty center. So that's a cool effect. Came out a few years ago. Do a really good job on that. Howler Monkey we got here. They go up, make a howling, screaming sound mixed in. We got Proud and True, the red, white, and blue, all red, white, and blue cake from Raccoon. Good stuff. Good Thinking Lincoln, all red, white, and blue, 134 shot from Raccoon. Wolf Warrior, a new one by Bright Star here recently. So good screamers with it. We got the Jackhammer from Bright Star. Yeah, Bright Star. America's Colors, all red, white, and blue. That'll be finale wise. I got some of the Brothers Stars cakes here mixed in. Capella, Centauri, and whatnot. Let's see. I got a few racks here. Pyro Candy, Texas Hold'em. I got Star Factory rack. Patriarch Skybuster. Another all red, white, and blue. 82nd, 126 shot. Good stuff. And then we come over here. We got a little Firefly cake here. These will be pretty fun to see them by themselves. Chili Peppers. These are all fan cakes, so you get in here. They got comets going up, bursts across the top. 4 different ones in that. Glimmer in the Sky, a little 200 gram, but pretty heavy hitter on it. 9-shot Immortal, another 9-shot rack. Another set of 9-shot racks. Patriarch Spirit, all red, white, and blue. That'll be in our finale. We've got Salute to Summer. This is all red, white, blue. Minds to Breaks by Winda. Screw Loose by Winda. 36-shotter. Good stuff. Wyatt Earp right here. 8 of those going. I got Uncle Sam. One of the best racks you'll ever see. All Nishiki Willows by Raccoon. Raccoon does a really good product. Poker Run by them too. It's a 2.5. You can save on shipping that way. That's how we do it. It fits inside the other one. Got some bonus night, more Spider Swine, and a couple other things. So that's what we got for the evening, and that's what I'm going to leave you with. I do have a lot of products. Like I said, there's still more I haven't even gotten yet. It'll be around 350 cakes total. About a 32-minute display on the 5th. Which one am I most excited about? I am putting a lot of 3-inch racks in this year, so those will be fun. And then I have some specialty pro stuff that I'm putting in. That'll be the most exciting thing. So that's going to be it for today, though. I got to go unload and get up the next stand, get it running. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for hanging out, and peace.